G'day. It's Stefan Angelini from Angel Advisory. Thanks for tuning in for another economic wrap. Today, we're looking at what one of our investment managers saw as the 5 key themes for 2023. It's our role to speak to a lot of managers to see what they think. And it's really great to unpack exactly what they're feeling in the current environment. So the 5 themes we're going to focus on today and unpack are emerging market macro ahead of development markets, the China reopening, Europe doing better than feared, the IRA being the Inflation Reduction Act, and that stimulus in the US economy. But we're also going to look at the Fang Man, and is the Fang Man dead? Fangs are basically a whole heap of tech companies. So tune in to the podcast or YouTube channel if you want to watch the whole episode. If you're in socials land. Otherwise, if you want to stay on the line, thanks a lot for listening. We really appreciate it. Little disclaimer for you is that just remember, this is just general information. Please don't consider it as personal advice. And if you want any personal advice, please go and consult your licensed financial planner. If you need any help, we are financial planners at Angel Advisory. So have a look at our team at angeladvisory.com.au. We're pretty cool. That's because we love to research interesting topics such as thematics for 2023. All right, now getting into it so I can stop being an idiot. 5 key themes. So let's look at, first off, emerging markets and how they're expected to outperform against the development markets. So they're saying basically developed markets are really suffering from inflation, interest rates, and this means that the developed markets have a nice little cyclical opportunity to take advantage of the current state of the environment. So you'll see a lot of money move towards emerging markets, away from developed markets, and a lot of the companies in these emerging markets probably will outperform because locally they are not feeling the same pressures as developed markets are. Let's go over to China. China's reopening. So what does that mean? So China has been in lockdown for so long. They've got something like $900 billion of pent-up savings, and that means a whole lot of people that want to get out and travel and just go and spend a heap of money. We felt that here in Australia, and it's going to play out around the world. So that means people are going to travel. People are going to spend lots. So they're going to spend more on, we call them consumer discretionaries. So fashion brands, fashion labels, coffees, things like that as they go out and travel. So that'll be a good boost. However, that will also be an impact on inflation because as people keep spending money, it's not what the reserve banks want, but this might just play into the hands. Anyway, it is what it is. We keep going. As we look at Europe and Europe being better than feared. So as we know, there's been a whole heap of issues around Europe, especially because of the issues around the UK and Ukraine and Russia. And basically the energy situation over there has been terrible. But they're saying that European Union banks are starting to look pretty good. So there's a few ones over there. Things like car manufacturers over there, electrical providers who are big in that solar space will also do quite well. So there are pockets of companies within Europe who should do really well as a result of global themes. The IRA being the Inflation Reduction Act, I think there's something like $370 billion that the US government has dedicated to over the next say 10 years, basically to spend on infrastructure and upgrades within their environments. That will encourage jobs. That'll make them a greener economy as well. So we'll just see what happens in this space. So it is, just so you know, one of the biggest spends they've ever done. So this is as a result, just to keep the economy moving. What they're trying to do is improve the type of energy that's being produced. So going more towards solar, wind farms. So you could imagine that anyone in the green energy space should do quite well, especially if they are producing this over in the USA because the government is just handing money out like lollies. And let's look at the Fang Man. So Fang Man is Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix. And I don't know who the G is, but anyway, we'll call him the Fang. F-A-A-N-G. Is it dead or just resting? So you look to the like of Microsoft, right? So Microsoft is a huge player and makes enormous amounts of profits, but also has a large database and is not basically, they are a big tech company, but they are relied on by a lot of businesses now. So with Microsoft selling off, but also Amazon have a huge market share and are taking more, especially as they smaller, I guess, providers start to fall off after inflation issues. So this company in particular is seeing that this particular thematic, being the FANGs, are just sort of resting before they see another sort of surgence in large cap tech. So they asked 5 of the key themes that this fund manager in particular is looking at. Particularly, they are an international fund manager and they're quite good at what they do. But it's really important. It's really good to keep up to date with what they're thinking. So Europe is going to do better than expected. The IRA, Inflation Reduction Act, is going to benefit infrastructure providers, especially in the green space. FANGs being techs, they see a bit of a resurgence there. Emerging markets, like everyone else, is seeing this as being a hotspot, and also anything to do with Chinese people spending money is what they see as the next big thing throughout 2023. So thanks a lot for listening. Hopefully we've improved a little bit of knowledge by sharing what we take in every day. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.